Marty Morrissey, Michael Duignan, thank you very much indeed. Well, we had drama and controversy in the Leinster football final. Happily, we just had the drama here in Southwell Stadium today. Cyril Farr, Tomas McCahey and Gerald Nan with me in studio. Tom, we were saying at half-time it was a poor enough game, but I knew we weren't going to leave Thurles without a dramatic Munster hurling final.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
These two teams, they don't do boring games, I know, and we were disappointed at half-time, definitely 7 points to 6. We said this will be more open, and thankfully second half it was fantastic fair, you know. And I mean, I suppose Cork are inside and they're probably giving out to the referee at this stage, why was that last minute free conceded, or why was it given and stuff like that. But you have to give credit to Waterford. I mean, at times there in the second half, maybe 10 minutes to go, it looked as if the game was going away from them, but they never gave up. And I mean, what a man to pop up to get to equalising goal in Tony Brown. That's the belief that he had himself, going up from right half back in after chasing down the free from Owen Kelly, you know. And I suppose at the end of the day, Waterford would feel justice was done on the day because they had a lot of chances as well themselves, you know.
Yeah, Cyril, there was only a point in it at half time, so it was tight all the way through. But whereas the first half was tentative, the second half was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it was bound to open up really, and people, there was a kind of a testing out period in the first half, and like it was so flat in the first half, it was unbelievable. It was a Munster final 7-6. Waterford felt should be up a few more points, but like Waterford started great the second half, got the few points, and then of course typical Cork, when they got the chance of goals, they hit them and took them. But to be fair to Waterford, like Fitzy threw on 3 subs together, unusual like in modern day hurling, came back in and they got 2 great goals themselves. But the last goal, we didn't see what the free was for, maybe a chop. But there's a cardinal sin though, Mike, when there's a 21-yard free taken, and when they go with the backline block it and it breaks out, some of the backs or the forwards coming in should win the race, not the Waterford forwards, which was a great goal, and it promised to be a great replay as well.
It does indeed. Let's get the thoughts of the Cork manager, Dennis Walsh. He's talking now too. Claire McNamara.
Dennis, quite some second half. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, well, I suppose the first half was a bit dour, so I mean, second half picked up was brilliant. I suppose we looked in trouble, to be honest, 7 or 8 minutes into the second half, and maybe getting a few guys coming in gave us a bit of an impetus, and I suppose we got 2 very good goals, maybe in quick succession. And you know, it looked like we had it there at the end, but you know, we've to come back again next week and sort it out.
You did change your tactics to very good effect in the second half. That direct ball in, Michael Cusson coming on, because your forwards had been struggling up to that.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think it was fairly obvious that we seemed to be messing around a little bit with it, and if it was going in, it was too slow, and you know, we needed to get it in fast and a bit more direct, really. But saying that, I just thought we were off the pace in the first half, and you know, we got back in half time, we regrouped and we picked it up a bit. You know.
What did you make of that late free into injury time?
Well, I suppose if I knew what it was for, I could make a comment on it, but I don't know what it was for, so I suppose I'll have to dissect a few DVDs maybe to find out what it was for, and when I find that out, I suppose I'll be able to comment on it.
Overall, what do you think of the draw? Is it a fair result?
Yeah, well, I suppose to be fair, I mean, Waterford were a better team for long stretches of that game, and I suppose in hindsight, maybe when I cooled down a small bit, maybe I realised that in fairness they probably deserved the draw in the end. They did most of the hurling for long periods of the game, and but I suppose we'll just come back and straighten it out again next week.
Yeah, I suppose the good news for hurling supporters is that you have to come back and do it all again.
Yeah.
You have a show to look forward to.
Well, I suppose you know, from a spectator point of view, I mean, Cork and Waterford have been tremendous games, and you know, everyone will go home at the second half in the memory bank again, and you know, that'll bring them back again next week.
Okay, Dennis, thank you. Back to Michael.
We have to check, of course, when that replay is going to be, but it probably is going to have to be indeed next weekend. Gerald Khan?
Well, the last time there was a draw in the Munster final was in 1998, which was also the day of the World Cup final between Waterford and Clare. Waterford are involved as well. So I hope that the replay doesn't lead to such a fractious replay as occurred in that year. But like the second half there was just fantastic. So everything we associate with Cork and Waterford for the last 7 or 8 years since they've met. I think the big mistake Cork were when they got the second goal, when Ben O'Connor got the goal, they went 5 points clear, and they kind of relaxed after that. They gave away an easy point. Next thing, Waterford got a goal, and from then on to the end, it was nip and tuck. But Waterford, I thought, were better in the air. Their stick work was slightly better. They played a faster, more intelligent game. And you know, maybe there was a controversial free at the end, but nobody can deny but Waterford deserved a second chance at this. Now, the big problem is, as Michael Duignan said there, it'll be great for the winner because they'll still have 4 weeks to the semi-final.
Yes,
but for the loser, the next day, they'll be facing in the following week in their quarter-final. So massive, massive, massive game next. I presume it's next weekend. It'll be a really more important game next weekend than it was today.
Well, that's exactly it, isn't it, Tom?
Absolutely, it is.
I mean, there was an awful lot at stake today. Now there's even more.
Michael, I mean, you see the use of the substitute bench today. I think more both sides used a full complement in the second half period as well, because guys are out on their feet as well from the endeavour as well. But I think from a Cork perspective as well, they had to make changes in the forward line in the second half period, and they did react very, very quickly. Cousin coming into the equation, Paddy O'Sullivan coming into the equation, because they were struggling, and there was certainly in that second half period a lot more direct ball, you know. And Dennis mentioned himself there in that clip as well that he probably did have a few harsh words at half time inside the dressing room, because there was too much tippy-tappy stuff, and that wasn't the style of Cork hurling, that it had to be more direct. And it certainly, when it came in the second half period, Cork did get on top, and then obviously failed to hold the 5-point lead kind of going into the last 5-6 minutes.
And I suppose in fairness to both managers on this one, Cyril, you know, if things are not going quite the way you want them to, and the game is ebbing and flowing, sort of going against you at one stage, for you at another stage, it takes a brave manager to start making changes, because you can upset the whole system.
As Tomas says, like Cousin came on, you know, and Per Cronin came on, you know, and young O'Sullivan came on up front, and Davy Fitz threw the whole kitchen sink, because he was down 5 or 6 on. You had Kim McGrath, you had Dan Shannon, Murray Shannon, and they all played important parts. Like it's hard for them to get in the last minutes to get onto the game, which was a fantastic second half. Now I felt at half time that the goals would come for Cork, because if they got the chance to take them, with fair play to Waterford, Cork did take the goal chances.
They did.
But then when Waterford got there, it's like they pulled that game out of the fire. Okay, as Dennis said there, the middle controversy about the last three, but I don't think you could begrudge that to Waterford. Now whoever wins the replay is it'll be improved a ton, because we got a shot there of Brian Cody, the old fox in the stand. Like earlier in the first half, he wouldn't have seen anything that worried him at all. Now in the second half, it was real Munster Championship hurling, and we kind of got what we came to see, and everyone is looking forward to probably next weekend already.
Yeah, I think we have the Waterford manager, Davy Fitzgerald. He's also with Clare right now.
He is indeed, Michael. Davy Fitzgerald, pretty tame in the first half, then 2 Cork goals in the second half. You looked out of it, but you weren't.
Well, I can assure you it wasn't tame in the first half either. I think the amount of blocks and tackles, we went from doing what we were doing well, and we lost our way a bit through in the second half, so we did, you know. Naturally enough, it wasn't ideal having to take off Liam. We didn't really want to, because he was playing well, but just the fact on a yellow after getting cautioned again after that, you couldn't take the chance. But they can say what they like about Waterford or whatever, but these boys have character, and I think that was shown in abundance today. I know we got the free at the end, but trust me, if you look at that game overall, I'd say we were well due that free at the end.
And what about Tony Brown popping up to score that one, 37 years old?
That fella's getting better with age, I think, and they tried to exploit him today. They tried to pull him into the centre, poke the ball outside him. I think whatever they tried, Tony was up there, and fair play to him, but at least we know the ticker is working all right anyway after that, you know. But it's all to play for again, so it is, you know.
How do you feel about coming back to do it all again?
I can't wait. Let's have another go. Let's see what happens, you know. We have to stick to the basics. We have to stick to what we're good at doing. We went from it, and it nearly cost us, you know, and it's very important. We had a lot of stuff worked on, that we remain disciplined in what we're doing, and we'll have a good chat, so we will about it. It would have been sickening to lose that